Hello and welcome back to day 19 of the 30-day movie challenge, where today's question is the very first film I've ever seen in the cinema. Now, had I done this a year ago, I probably would have said it was the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, because that's one that I definitely remember seeing. Now, it could have also been the Philosopher's Stone, because I definitely had a T-shirt for that for when the film came out. So it's high. So that technically could be the answer, but because I don't have any recollection of it, and my mother isn't around to ask her what was the first film she brought me to see in the cinema, I would have said it was Chamber of Secrets. That was until last year when I was doing Trilogy Month, and I sat down and rewatched a particular trilogy. And when I was watching the first one, I was getting nostalgic feelings of actually maybe this was the first film that I remember seeing in cinema. Because I definitely remember seeing the second one, and the second one I've already talked about this week alone. For day 16, what was my favorite shot of a movie. So my answer for the very first movie I've ever seen in cinema, quite possibly, could have been the very first Spider-Man film. Now, I could have went and grabbed my Blu-ray like I did for Spider-Man 2, but because I actually owned this on VHS, I decided, let me show it off, pick the VHS over the Blu-ray, because that's how I actually rewatched it, was on VHS, because that's something that I do. If I have the movie on VHS, I may as well put that TV to some use and watch it, so that's what I did. I rewatched this, and that gave me brought back the feeling, the sense that maybe this was the first movie that I've seen in cinema, and that's why that is going to be my pick. And I love Spider-Man. I've always loved Spider-Man ever since I was a kid. And I think it's because of the 80s. I've seen different versions of the Spider-Man cartoons. I've seen the 60s one on reruns, the same way I've seen Adam West Batman through reruns. And then I also grew up watching, at the time it was called Fox Kids, then it changed to Jetix, and they would always show, the 90s Marvel cartoons like Spider-Man, like X-Men, like Fantastic Four. Those are the ones that I grew up on, specifically Spider-Man. And it's simply not only that, because it also had that Spider-Man had the best opening theme, and it's up there with the X-Men opening theme. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. So of course, then when Spider-Man came out in cinema, obviously I was going to be elated to go see it. So this came out in 2002. I would have been 4 at the time. So yeah, I think I was 4 at the time. I'm pretty sure I was 4 at the time. But anyway, regardless, that's and even on rewatch, I still love this film. Out of the trilogy, the original trilogy, obviously I think I prefer Spider-Man 1 over Spider-Man 2. Now don't get me wrong, Spider-Man 2 is still great, but I think for me, I just prefer Spider-Man 1 out of the original trilogy. And I don't even mind Spider-Man 3. Now, as I said, I did cover these movies for Trilogy Month last year, and I said the exact same thing, where after my rewatch, I definitely think that I prefer this. And of course, it introduced me to Nickelback, with with the song that they use for the movie, which is honestly, it's playing in my head as we're talking. And Tobey Maguire, in my opinion, is still the best Spider-Man. No shade to Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland, but he is my Spider-Man, and he'll always be my Spider-Man. The same way with Kristen Dunst as Mary Jane. She'll always be my Mary Jane. This was my first Willem Dafoe film, and that's what made me fall in love with him as well. And then, of course, so many other amazing people through these trilogies that I got introduced to. So, yeah, that's why Spider-Man is the very first film that I've ever seen, and that's why that is my pick. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what was the very first film you remember seeing in cinema. And I'll catch you all here tomorrow for day 20.